So this is part 2 of a video I did a week ago of free program. So technically, yeah, this is a free program. I'm just doing this purely because, you know, one, it's content, and two, it's just like what I believe in and stuff. And, you know, I'd like to, you know, at least give some people some, you know, free stuff because, you know, I found all my, you know, exercises online for free, and if it's all in one place, then it's a lot easier. So this is the upper lower split. So my previous video, for which is about a week ago, that is a push pull leg split. If you want to look at that first, please by all means go and watch that video. But now we're going to go on to upper lower split. Now, the thing with this split is because it is not really what I would do. Primarily because I have more time on my hands. You know, it's more for people that don't really have the time and, you know, kind of stuff. They have stuff going on and they think, oh yeah, I can't possibly fit in this day. Well, technically, this like program is only like 4 days. So you'll have 4 days in the gym. The rest is pretty much being a lazy shit. So choose whatever, because, you know, you could do Tuesday, Wednesday, rest, Friday, Saturday. That's a possible one. Or you can just like mix it around and stuff. But anyway, I will explain the split and everything and why I call this a skeleton program, because the skeleton program, as I described in the last video, is I would like you to make changes if it would suit you better, because, you know, I am not you, I am not in your body. So please, if you want to change anything, change something, because I do have some suggestions here and there, you know, depending on gender and stuff, which is definitely in this video. And yeah, all right. Now on to day one, which is upper day. I just want to clarify that, you know, your incline presses are like in your program, because I believe, you know, incline dumbbell press, incline bench press, or Smith machine, you know, all them kinds of things are very important towards your chest growth. As, you know, people like to think, oh, it'll do the upper shelf. There really isn't much of an upper shelf as you may think. I might get a diagram here of the chest muscles and stuff, but the clavicle muscle is quite tiny, as well as, you know, the pectoral minor. I can't remember what the goddamn name is, but the main, you know, juicy bit is the pec major. So, and major meaning larger. So major, you really want to target this muscle. I believe incline press really does target these muscles from my own experience, and combine them with flies, which you will see, you know, definitely makes for a good chest day. As I've experienced, you know, in my videos, you'll see me do incline press, then go on to flies, which I tend to find is quite good, you know. Even though I am trapped with the gyno curse, you know, I've still got, you know, still growing my chest after a recent shoulder problem, but we get past that. But yes, that's really all I believe you need for chest, especially if you're like in a very time constraint. You know, you don't need to, you know, do any like fancy shit like an Arnold press. Arnold just made that up on the spot, if I'm being honest. And yeah, with flies, it's technically anything. So you have your fly machines, you have your cable flies, you have your dumbbell flies, etc. Primarily because, you know, it's just depending on what's there, because I do go to a small gym and sometimes it is overcrowded. So sometimes you just gotta get, you know, varied in what you do. So like you just need to do something else because you are on a time constraint. But anyway, I need to reawaken my computer. Now, the next one is lateral raises, primarily because this is from my own experience. My front delts do get stimulated on the incline presses and don't really need much work. So I typically keep shoulder press out, primarily because I believe it's still, it's like a high incline pretty much, but that's just my own preference. If you want to add that in, please do, if you feel like you're lacking on that, shoulder part. But with lateral raises, it's just as simple as, lifting your arm up. And a cool tip for you people that want to grow your shoulders, try and tuck your back down, so you're going like that. So almost pushing your shoulder blades into your pelvis and doing that. So you're taking your light traps out and you're just doing that, because people tend to activate their traps a lot more because they're doing this. They're not controlling the weight necessarily. They're just using their traps as well. So just a bit of a tip, there for you. And now on to lat pull down. Lat pull down, essential, especially for women who want that, hourglass figure, and the guys that want that V taper, But for guys, don't skip leg day, you bitches. Honestly, it's like a woman skipping arm day or, any upper body day. What's wrong with you? You need a complete physique. You don't want to look like, Johnny Bravo or just a stick insect with legs, You don't want to look like that. So the best thing is to train your whole body. And yes, women, you will not look like Ronnie Coleman. And boys, it's already small. Just deal with it. Grow some fucking legs. Bit of advice from me. But yes, lat pull downs, they will grow your lats, making that nice good V shape, nice good hourglass shape. And yeah, just train them till failure, in my personal opinion. When I say 8 to 12 rep range, it's just I'm saying go to failure, but within that range typically, especially if you're a beginner, because I want you to, at least aim for something, You shouldn't be like, oh, there's 5 reps, I'm done. It's kind of useless, but, it does still cause hypertrophy, but I believe 8 to 12 is pretty much, what you need. And, you don't really need any more than that. That's what you should be aiming for. But next would be machine rows. So any hammer rows where you see there's unilateral arm paths, and there's cable rows, stuff like that. Stuff like that will build your back. This bit, the trapezium or trapeze or whatever the fuck they want to call it. It's just thickens the back and it makes it look very, very nice. So for men, if you want to look very, very masculine, I'd say do your fucking rows, because it definitely helps. Thickens your neck and, thickens your back as well. And now on to the very thing that I talked about half a week ago now, which is supersets. Supersets are where you do a contrasting, muscle once you've finished another muscle. So the way I would explain it is, which I gave the explanation in that video, please check it out. It's called, training intensity stuff, whatever. But basically here you'll be doing some cable curls. So with any bar really, or if you're doing a single arm, do those, and then do a tricep movement like tricep push down. As soon as you've done that, put it down to the bottom, do it again, So one set is where you do your curls and then your push downs. That's one set. So you do 3 of these, typically to failure. And I'd say it's at least somewhat, stimulating. Now, do I believe in that you should do at least a couple more sets? Yes, I'd say 3 to 5 sets, even though it does say 3 on there. I do recommend 3 to 5 on, biceps and triceps, because they can be a bit stubborn. As from my own experience, they are quite stubborn muscles to, stimulate and everything. But anyway, at the end, you'll be doing some cardio, 30 minutes, because you need to train your heart as well. And also it will keep you lean and stuff like that. Just make sure to remember, if you want to cut calorie deficit, if you want to bulk, eat in a surplus. So, but anyway, we'll go on to day 2, which you'll see 2 day 2s here. Now, my theory behind this is that women typically want the glutes to grow, and hence why leg day on the women's part is a lot longer, because I know guys, you want to, get strong, you want to, have some powerful legs, so, and you don't really want your ass to grow, and if you do, you can follow the women's one. I'm not bothered. But definitely when it comes to starting out a leg day, this is what I typically construct, as it's fairly simple to follow. You do your quads first, and then you do your hamstrings. And when I've put, I would put calves at the end, because, people think, oh, calves are unimportant. They are somewhat important, especially if you're going for aesthetics as a person, you can do your calves. Typically on a leg press, if you do have a calf machine, that makes you look like you're riding a horse or something, or whichever, or the bend over one. The bend over one's a bit, like you're gonna get taken advantage of, but I'd typically put calves in there if you were going for, more aesthetics and stuff. So do your calves, don't skip them, because I do a different program and calves are not in my program, so I'm very happy with that. But anyway, we start off with the first leg day, so the one that typically most guys will probably go for, which is squat. So squat is essential. For aesthetics reasons, I want you to be more close, close here. Do at least, 8 to 12 reps, because, and also I will state this enough, because I used to be a wanker at one point, and I used to not go all the way down. If you struggle going all the way down, you can put a plate underneath your heel. So the ball of your foot, this bit, I know my socks are a bit dirty, but that bit, you put a plate underneath and you will squat. You'll go onto the plate itself and you will squat down. I'll probably put a demonstration up, or a video or something like that, where someone has like a plate and then put their foot there, and it helps them get all the way down. You can do this on a Smith machine as well. Some people prefer a Smith machine just because they lack stability, or they don't have a belt. A belt is just like there to help you stability and stuff, and also to help you not blow your back out, because I know some of us don't like that. Some freaks may be watching this and do like that. You never know. I don't discriminate. But anyway, when it comes to squats, Smith machine, free weight, it doesn't matter. As long as you're doing like barbell, whatever's comfortable for you. But I would, if you are going for aesthetics and not really strength, well, I would go for strength while pursuing aesthetics, because you need to progressively overload and add more weight over time. Typically I would do more of a closer stance and point feet out wide like this. So point your feet out like that, and typically point your knees in the way of your feet, so you don't injure yourself and stuff like that. Now onto leg press or hack squat. If you are lucky enough to have a hack squat, I would definitely recommend some hack squats, especially after squat. It's like it's like a squat variation where you don't typically have to worry about your stability. Some people use it instead of squat itself. You can do that, but then I would recommend going on to leg press. Leg press, very, very good. And I'd still do like the V-shaped feet, as it does like get most of your quad involved. And yeah, I'd say it's a very good exercise if you are looking to build your quads. And I'd definitely give a recommendation to single leg press, because, yeah, it just feels a lot deeper, and, you're not limited by, your buttocks being almost spread to the point where you might feel a gust of wind exit your body. But anyway, next is the leg extensions. Leg extensions, staple of any leg day. It's to get that rectus femoris muscle, which not really any like leg pressing movement can get. So it's just essentially how you get your leg like that. Basically, it's the muscle that does that. So just do those. I would recommend for most people just do double leg, but for some people that full stack the machines, single leg, it's actually quite good, because it isolates that one muscle, and I'll be honest, it typically feels a lot better. So, but anyway, just try and get my computer back on. RDLs, yes, men out there, RDLs, barbell, dumbbell, it's very essential. Yes, you may not see your hamstrings, but trust me, they will add to your legs, because it's essential. You need to be able to target all your legs. So do your hamstrings by doing some RDLs. If you feel so uncomfortable, this is for men and women, do it up against the wall. If you don't want anyone staring into your black hole, it's completely fine. Just do it up against the wall and you'll be totally okay. And leg curls straight afterwards, so you're still, getting them hamstrings, and I'd say it's a great finisher, leg curls for your hamstrings, especially straight after some RDLs. So, but yeah, that's, and then doing abs. Abs is like, yeah, I don't know, if you want to, you can do some crunches. There's like a machine where you tuck in, that's like weighted crunch or something. Sometimes you find a decline bench, you can do some sit-ups with that, or you can do some leg raises where you're hanging and then you pull your legs up as far as you can and then lower them down safely. Like those kinds of ab movements there, I'd definitely recommend if you're wanting to make your abs more defined. But the thing about abs is the lower body fat you have, the more you can see them. So it's just a thing of body fat as well, if you want to see your abs. And yet again, considering that you are doing cardio, I'm pretty sure you'll see your abs anytime soon. So, but anyway, onto the women's version of the leg day that we have is doing adductors first. So basically abductors is where you spread your legs out against the weight that's pushing inwards. This targets the glutes a lot more, and what you see mainly women do, because they want to grow their glutes, of course. I mean, a lot of women want to grow their glutes so they can have that, aesthetic. And I get it, completely fine. I just have a naturally, big dump truck because I deadlift and squat a lot. So, yeah. Snooze, you lose, women. I'm just better in every way. But anyway, the reason we do this before squats and stuff is because, it'll pre-fatigue the glutes, and especially if you're, doing more of a wider stance typically targets more your hamstrings and glutes. Meanwhile, a shorter stance does your, quads more. It's just how your biometrics work. So depending on what you want, you can go wide, you can go, short. It doesn't matter. But as I said in the previous video, if you're looking for a push-pull legs program, I definitely recommend push-pull legs, the one that I made for women as well, because, deadlifts, they especially help with, building the glutes, building the back and stuff, and also powerlifting, very, very good for women. It helps your muscles grow, you get strength by it, and also your bone density helps as well. Considering, not many women do it, I definitely recommend it. But anyway, onto squats straight after abductors. So this typically, it just like, it's essential that you do squats. So I think I just said that, but it's essential you do the squats. So I'd recommend them. Now onto hip thrust. This is if you can't do a regular hip thrust, which is there's a machine variant, there's barbell variant, there's glute bridges where you literally just lift your ass up off the floor and lower it down slowly. That's if you can't do it currently. So it's just the momentum to get back into doing some hip thrusts. Hip thrust, barbell, relatively easy. There's usually pads in the gym if you are very uncomfortable with the barbell sitting on your pelvis. So it's there just in case. And then there's the machine variant, which is typically in every gym that I've seen, so you can find it anywhere, and it also goes into the intensity thing, where I tend to find if people try and like lower the concentric, where you're lowering your butt down, if you slow it down, it'll definitely hurt a lot more, but it'll be more beneficial. So but yeah, and then the rest of the workouts pretty much like the more male one, but it's what this whole program is what I'd consider if if you only want to be in there 4 days, and if you're very constricted on time, it's what I would typically give someone if they asked me what's the program I should follow if I only have 4 days. This is just like typically the one I would give them, because I suppose you have enough time to, go to the gym and do all this stuff. I'm just assuming that. So if there's anything, that's, if you don't really want to hit glutes, then you just do the first one. But if you're like more of a glute orientated person, do that one. And also a word recommendation by me is, even if you are a woman or if you are a guy, don't skip leg day or upper body day, because it completes the physique. You won't look more masculine, you won't look more feminine, trust me. It's generally a myth that people think, oh, like if I do leg day it'll look smaller. Jimmy, it already looks smaller. So you might as well do legs. And also to Sarah or whatever, you won't look like Ronnie Coleman. You won't look like a man. Trust me. No one cares that you have slightly bigger arms than the twink around the corner that barely even lifts. You probably wouldn't want him anyway. But anyway, those are my recommendations of upper, lower, kind of like program. It's a skeleton program at the end of the day. If you want to add anything or take away anything, it's all completely up to you. This is just my recommendations from my own experience. And yeah, we'll be on to my upper day today, as I do strength and hypertrophy training. So I have a bit of an everything day at the end, because I do squats mixed in with chest and triceps. I do back and biceps mixed with deadlifts, and then I do bench, tempo, and then I do my strength exercises, and then I do leg day, and then I do basically upper body day to help with my upper body growth. So we'll be moving on to my upper body day thing, and I will see you in there. Goodbye. So starting off with tempo bench with a belt on, and then I went to beltless. So I'm just getting a feel for the belt when it comes to bench press. I definitely think it does help me keep my ass on the bench, which is all helpful and everything. So I'd rather keep it on there and have my technique, better. On this day, my shoulder was a bit, iffy about the exercise I was doing. So bench press and, chest flies were feeling a bit off this day. So, but in the grand scheme of it, I managed to get the sets done. So at least that's something. When it comes to tempo, I'm probably gonna be keeping it similar weights to this. Not really go up that much because yet again, shoulder needs to recover, and it's more of a priority if my shoulder recovers than getting any weight up. So yes, I may look goofy by having a belt on for what people mostly could do without a belt or straps on, but I want that feel of benching with these things on so I can get used to it. And it's just like my kind of style. So I mean, I'm spreading my arms a lot more, so I'm going a thumb length away from the bit, the other, I don't know what they call it, but it's the rough bit and then it's the smooth bit. It's like a gap between that, so I use my thumb to measure myself out, and I find it definitely works. It definitely takes away a bit of the strain away from my shoulder. But yet again, I think it's best as well because I think recently so on this day I warmed up when doing some like band front raises, but the day after benching, a day after doing this and stuff, I didn't do those raises and it felt a lot better. So I'm gonna keep those out of my warm-ups. So it's all about these little tweaks that might get me to heal a lot faster or become stronger, especially when it comes to bench press, as I used to do 145 kilo, and I'd rather get back to that soon. So hopefully these whatever they call it, muscle memory, comes back and I eventually able to get surpass that. So hopefully in the future. But anyway, building the chest with some chest flies, as always. With this day, it's just chest flies, no incline press. Just trying to stimulate the chest a bit more and go a bit beyond. So when it comes to incline press, I like to think of it as a hypertrophy strength exercise because it's also a bench variant, and it also helps with strength as you are technically doing a harder bit of the motion. So like it's elevated, so it's a lot harder because you have to use your shoulders as well. But also, like I said in this video, when it comes to incline press, I also use it as almost like a shoulder press because it does stimulate my shoulders. So suppose flies here are just like a bit of an add-on, to a bit of a chest gains and stuff, and hopefully it'll build my chest out a bit more, adding to because I do feel like my chest is very, very weak on my physique. So by adding a bit more chest exercises, it might grow. But when it comes to bench anyway, I typically do get a bit of stimulation. So it's all variable. So and all trial and error when it comes to lifting. So if something don't work, then you change it, and if it don't work, don't have to fix it. So it's all the fun of lifting. If something just doesn't work, then you don't have to do it because it's just the whatever works for you. People are different. I mean, something might work for me, something might not work for you. It's the balance and everything. So it's just the way it is. So my workout probably could not stand to your workout. I mean, you're training for something different. I'm training to build my physique and get stronger, but each their own. But anyway, onto some lateral raises, of course, try and stimulate my shoulders a bit because I do feel like it is time to go a bit more harder on my shoulders. So like I I do have a muscle imbalance when it comes to shoulders. I think that's why my rotator cuff is a bit fucked, because I definitely know one side is a lot stronger than the other, and if you've seen me pose, it's definitely my right side. So I don't wank with that side, I swear. I don't wank at all. I am a pure human being. So, like, you needed to know that. But anyway, this pure human being right here is not a wanker, and two, gonna try and make himself not look like Doomfist from Overwatch. So I try and use unilateral exercises, especially for this purpose, because by doing unilateral exercises, it'll help grow the other side as well as the help grow the other side, the opposing side as well. So it will grow together and eventually catch up. So yeah, I mean, it's not much of a big deal, as I do have some big shoulders and it's kind of less noticeable now. I mean, I used to look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, where I had one side higher than the other. But now, over recent times, and my physio literally pulling my shoulder blade out, I'm less, imbalanced and stuff. And I've definitely seen that, as of recent. So, yeah, all good. I no longer look like a mutant monster. I now look like a buff monster. Or a semi-buff monster, because I need more. I need more delts, more arms, more everything, because you're never satisfied. Yeah. I don't know what to make a joke out of that for, but But anyway, moving on to triceps after this, doing some tricep extensions, then yeah, I think I just did tricep extensions here. Yeah, I think I got a bit sick and tired of these two people beside me, because I was sort of working out with them, and then I did my tricep push downs, but yeah, I think I just got a bit fed up and decided to leave early. But yeah, doing some tricep extensions, then I did some tricep push downs very quickly. I find it definitely helps when it comes to triceps to do some extensions first and then go into more of a, push down, because you're trying to target that lateral head, which is the biggest head in the tricep. And by doing it before, it's able to be pre-fatigued, and then when you're doing the tricep push down, which also does your lateral head but also does your long head and your whatever the fuck the other head's called, it definitely helps, because I feel like the tricep push down mainly does the long head, and by doing the more lateral head movement, I'm able to activate it more during the tricep push down, which is my whole, hypothesis around it. So I'd definitely give it a go if you're not very good with building your triceps, because I was a dumbass and didn't train my triceps for so long until, I think 2 years ago. I don't know. At some point, I decided to train my triceps properly, and ever since I've not gone back. So, but anyway, onto some lats. You can't see the muscle because I'm wearing an oversized shirt, but that's just because I wanted to just rush to the gym and get it over and done with. So, but anyway, training them lats, lat pull down, staple of any back workout. You can do single arm lat pull down, you can do medium grip and close grip, wide grip. I prefer wide grip, but I think that's because of my body structure. I'm more of a, wider individual. And I just tend to find the mag grip wide is a lot better for me. But you might find, the medium's a lot better for me. The close grip's more better for me. As long as you're feeling, your lower lats and your big and your upper lats, then I'd say you're definitely doing something right. But if it's not doing anything, just try different grips, because different grips can add different, ranges of motion, which also do help when it comes to, you know, growing your lats. Same with cable row, which you can see here. There are multiple different grips, hence why, you know, so varied in what people think is good and what people think is shit. I typically like a wide grip, as I said. It's just a matter of preference. Some people like a straight bar, some people like a grip like I've got here, some people like a mag grip, some people like you know, them Gatling gun grips or whatever the fuck they're called, but them kind of grips, some people just prefer those, and it's completely fine. As long as you're trying to target your, you know, your traps and it's actually getting to them, then I don't see any problem with, you know, doing, you know, rows with certain attachments, but it's all dependent on what you want at the end of the day. So, but anyway, to finish off, some bicep curls. I did a few sets of these, but I'll only show you two. Just primarily just to cut time and stuff. As this is already a pretty long video, and yeah, so I just do some cable curls to finish it off, and then I just did a pose down because literally no one was in the gym, and yeah, I just did pose down right there when no one was. I'd say as long as no one sees you and stuff like that, I think it's fine to just do a little pose down in the gym. As long as you're not disturbing anyone, I'd say it's fine. And I mean here, I'm not in anyone's line of sight. So, but in all seriousness, I'm getting bigger and, you know, stronger. So yeah, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one, because there'll be more videos. So please like and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.